Sexyy Red received the most votes, so this is my video on how I would style Sexyy Red. Now, I don't like Sexyy Red's style, but I do understand what she represents, and I do think there are a lot of girls who dress like her. Like, Sexyy Red just truly gives me around the way girl, and I feel like she is the type of girl that's often forgotten about. Once we get mainstream and we get the girl a little bit more polished up, we kind of have that image of what an around the way girl looks like. And we kind of forget about the Sexyy Red type, where the fashion may not be something that's fresh off the runway, but as long as it's designer, that's what they really care about, because that's like a very around the way type of mentality to have. It's like the girl who, once I come into some money, I'm gonna get me some Prada sneakers, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that. Like, that's Sexyy Red. And again, I don't like her fashion, but I do think she has a lot of qualities in her look and style that I can work with. She's kind of like a diamond in the rough. And I think there are a lot of girls in rap who started out kind of very hood, a little bit more rough, and they cleaned it up. And I think that sometimes people are a little too critical of Sexyy Red and her style. And the one thing I'm going to give her credit for, though, is that out of all the girls, I'm going to give her credit for two things. One, she's comfortable with not wearing makeup. She's one of the only girls in rap that's not walking around with her face caked up. And I respect that. Two, I love how much she does not care. Everybody's trying too hard. And I think it's very difficult to organically find someone who just does not care in a good way. Because I think when you don't care, it's easy to style that type of person because anything they do is just going to be effortless. I just think she needs some guidance. So this is who I think should be on Sexyy Red's mood board. I think Eve should be on Sexyy Red's mood board for multiple reasons. One, the obvious, the red hair thing. Nobody really styled red hair quite like Eve. I also think she should be on Sexyy Red's mood board because I think a lot of people forget that Eve used to be a stripper. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying it to prove my point, where she did such an amazing job with rebranding herself and solidifying herself in a fashion lane that you can't even tell that that was a life that she once had. And I think that is exactly what Sexyy Red needs. I think she needs the type of style where she just becomes so fly that y'all don't even remember any of the other antics and the stuff that she used to do, And I think Eve... Another reason why it works for Sexyy Red is back to the point I made about Sexyy Red not caring and it being effortless and her being hood. A lot of girls can't pull off Eve's style because they try too hard. Eve's style was a mix of runway fashion, kind of rocker in a sense, a bit of sex appeal, and a little bit of hood, and that, like, that tomboy hood. And I don't think a lot of girls in rap have that quality anymore because a lot of them are so male-centered in how they style themselves. I mean, they run around getting BBLs because of the men. They walking around with a bunch of spandex clothes because of the men. It's like a lot of their fashion has less to do with them and more of what is appeasing to the male gaze. And I don't think that type of mentality would be successful in executing Eve's type of fashion. Where Sexyy Red, yeah, she may wear like the smaller clothes, the skimpy clothes and stuff like that. But I think that's less about the male gaze and more about her just being a hood chick from around the way. They got a cute body and they can wear it, And so with her having that hood, the effortless, the red hair, and the openness to try different things, I think that she would successfully be able to execute that Eve type of vibe, especially if she has the right stylist. Because I think Eve wasn't quite like a Kim. It's like I'm gonna have like my pinky toe, maybe even my ankle up in fashion, but I'm still a Philly girl at the end of the day. And I think Sexyy Red, where she's from, is she from St. Louis, I think? If I'm wrong, forgive me. But I think she needs to be styled in a way where, yeah, it's cleaned up and it's a little bit more mainstream, more fashionable. But I think you still need to see attributes of where she's from. And I think Eve is the perfect person who did it flawlessly. For hair, I think that Keyshia Cole should be on the mood board for Sexyy Red for multiple reasons as well. For one, I just have to acknowledge Keyshia Cole. When Keyshia Cole came out and she had the blonde at the top and the red at the bottom, we had one strand of healthy, hair in Philly amongst all of us, because everybody was going and getting that color, the weaves. Then she went all red, so then we went all coloring our hair all red. Then she was doing different shades of red, and then Keyshia went blind. Child, listen, if Keyshia ain't gonna do nothing else, she gonna do some color. And I'm 100% convinced that we are not going to be able to convince Sexyy Red to get out those red wigs. So if you can't beat them, join them. And since Sexyy loves her some color, I think Keyshia would be the perfect person to be a mood board for her hair. Also, Keyshia is another one who has that hood around the way girl quality about her that I just love and I think will work for Sexyy Red as well, because I don't want Sexyy to have too much of a goody two shoes type of look, if you will. I feel like it's still important to keep it a little bit hood, a little bit ghetto in my Nene voice. So that's why I think Keyshia Cole look would work for Sexyy Red 100%. For Sexyy Red makeup, I want Jacki-O to be on her mood board. Sexyy Red doesn't do a lot, but the times that she does wear makeup, I would love for her to do this type of glam. Jacki-O is fine. She also from around the way. And I think that is really what's important to me with Sexyy Red style, to not lose that quality. I don't think everybody has to look the same. I don't think everybody has to give that Instagram-esque type of aesthetic. And I think that Sexyy Red, again, people can feel how they want to feel about her music, but I feel like her representation is so important. Because I feel like, again, like I said in the very beginning, I feel like that type of black girl is often lost in the sauce and discredited. And I just want to take her style from being the around the way girl that's hype about some Pradas to the around the way girl that done got her a local street pharmacist that's getting to a couple dollars, and she done moved out the hood and she's staying something fly. Like, that's the type of swag I want Sexyy Red to have. So between Eve, Keyshia Cole, and the Jacki-O makeup, I think we can get my girl there. I really think we really, really can get her there. So let me know what you guys think and if you agree with my assessment of Sexyy Red's fashion. And if you don't, let me know what you would do differently.